Hi, welcome to Real Estate Real Insights by Swati Prokon, where we explore and uncover various fascinating aspects around real estate today. I'm Shraddha Musale, your host. Buying a home is one of the biggest dreams for many people, and it can be an emotional decision. Along with that, there are many practical considerations too, right? So you need someone who can understand you and at the same time the practical considerations as well. Our today's guest is one of those. He's someone who's actually broken a lot of stereotypes around real estate broking, and he's kind of a trendsetter in his field. His name is synonymous to, what do I say, confidence, coolness, charm. Hey, I'd like to welcome Mr. Nirav Vakharia from Remax Realty Solutions. And Nirav, thanks so much for joining us today.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Nirav, we'd like to know more about you, your journey as a realtor in Ahmedabad.
Okay. Well, I have taken up a franchisee for Remax. If you know about it, it's an American company. My company name is called Remax Realty Solutions. I've been doing this for the last 13 years. We took up this franchisee, me and my partner, in 2011. Currently, our team strength is 15 and we usually work in Western Ahmedabad only. And that too with only prominent developers, top tier developers. And we sell apartments, offices, as well as weekend homes and land. And we boast of giving the most professional services in town.
Is it? Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
So is it only selling or it's renting as well?
Well, we actually assist our clients buying, selling, as well as leasing their real estate, whether it is houses or offices.
Right. How do you see real estate evolving in Ahmedabad?
Real estate has evolved a lot in the past few years, and I see it being totally different from what it is right now in the coming time. Earlier, real estate in Ahmedabad used to be a very small pocket of area where people used to want to live or people used to want their offices in. Ahmedabad isn't really, or I would say wasn't really a big city 10 years ago where everything was just 10 or 15 minutes away from itself. But now you see Ahmedabad expanding, and the new areas which are coming up, the new geographies where people are ready to go and live at, and the new business districts that have also come up because of the expanding city space. It's really different from what earlier you were restricted to a certain portion or a very small portion. Now we have a big geography to cover.
Ahmedabad is booming, and how, right?
Well, yeah, earlier people wanted to just invest in Ahmedabad or around Ahmedabad. If you are aware of Ahmedabad geography, SG Highway was the upper limit for anybody that would want to go, you know. I used to live at CG Road earlier, and if I had to come to Rajpath Club, which was on SG Road, I used to reach there and call my parents that I have reached. You know, that's how far it was considered. Now, that per se has become the center of the city. And you see development in Ahmedabad even 20 kilometers beyond SG Road. So that's how Ahmedabad is evolving. It is huge. There are also a lot of new pockets which have come up because of the great transformation around Ahmedabad, like pockets like Sanand, which is like a 20-minute drive. But that's where you see a lot of industrialization and a lot of manufacturing plants coming up, with a lot of MNCs putting up their units over there. And on the other side, if you were to see, there is Gift City, which is a real city in itself, which is going to be one of the first smart cities of Ahmedabad. And that is again a different ecosystem altogether. So each direction of Ahmedabad that you go to, it's expanding, and people have open minds to move into those geographies as well now.
Where do you see it going, you know? Like,
well, I see it just going above everybody's expectations. Why? Because with these industrialization and Gift City and those offices coming up, it brings along a lot of cosmopolitan crowd which comes from all over the country to want to live at Ahmedabad because they are working in these geographies. So because of that, you see small pockets developing around those things, and that's where there is more and more demand in those areas, and which is never ending for now.
Nirav, your journey has been very interesting. You know, I have to ask this. No kid ever thinks of this as a profession, right? They'd want to do various other things. How do you think about this?
Well, rightly said. I will honestly tell you, when I grew up, I also did not see me ending up to be a real estate broker per se. Everybody has their own aspirations, or every parent wants their child to be a doctor or an engineer or something like that.
Yeah.
But well, I would say me coming into this profession was just meant to be. So if I were to tell you, my family or my background or anybody around me, or for that matter, even my partner with whom I started this office, we had no real estate background.
Okay.
None whatsoever. I used to be a professional tennis player. I was also a coach at a summer camp at America, where I went for 4 summers. But not wanting to pursue a career in sports, I decided to come back to Ahmedabad. So I came back and I joined my dad's business.
Okay.
It was a wonderful business, but it was not for me. So yeah, we took up the Remax office in 2011, coming back, not wanting to join my dad's business. And Remax changed everything in my world. It gave me a professional identity, and it changed my life personally as well.
So Nirav, ये Remax, when you say business, ये कैसे काम करता है? How does it work? Yeah.
So it's a very enterprising model, and it is an entrepreneur-based model. So let's say me and partner
And
took
where's
up.
the parent company?
It's from Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
It's in America, and it's around 55-year-old company. It came into India in 2009, and we took up the franchisee. We did not have any real estate background, so we learned the ropes first.
किसी को भी नहीं देते होंगे ना वो लोग. There must be some credentials needed then, or
Well, not really, because as long as you had the capital to invest,
okay.
as long as you had the insight and how to run the model, because it works in a different manner. Like, we don't have any employees. Everybody who is a part of our team is an entrepreneur and is a profit sharing partner with us. Basically, I'm an assistant to 15 people.
Equal sharing? No.
No, so that's what I'm trying to explain. We have 15 partners in the office, which are individual entities who partner up with the office.
Right.
They have their own profit sharing ratio with us. So every individual is a partner in himself with the office. So our job is to mentor them, train them, to groom them, to teach them from our experience about how real estate works, and to assist them in doing real estate transactions. And that's where they earn money as well as we earn money. So this is a everybody makes money kind of model. It's not that the owner gets the higher chunk and the person working with him gets the lower chunk of the pie. So it's a very interesting model, and we're blessed to have a wonderful team with us as well.
Yes. And I often think, you know, every business is relationship driven, but your business is just runs on relationships. There's so much of trust involved, and that human connection, right? So how do you train people? Or you were that kind of a person, or you became that?
Well, I never was that kind of person. I love taking trainings. I have never given trainings. But yeah, you evolve with time, and when you want an office where there are like-minded people who think in the same direction and who have the same kind of goals, it's easy to impart knowledge. Because if I want somebody to be a part of my office, we have to be on the same wavelength. If I think this and he thinks that, we cannot work together.
All right.
So we are very picky in the kind of people who join our office. I would say 60 to 70% of people who want to join us, we have said a no to.
Okay, tell me, what's the best part about your profession and the worst part?
There are a lot, but if I were to say the best part about my profession is the sheer joy of assisting somebody in making one of the most crucial decisions of their life. It is perceived that 60 to 70% of an average person's net wealth is invested in the house that he buys. So being party to that decision making, where there are a lot of emotions involved, there are a lot of, the whole family gets together into analyzing whether that particular part of real estate is meant for them or not. giving them the right advice, and making them aware of the comparative market analysis of what else is available in according to the want they have, is, I think, a very fulfilling thing at the end of the day, where if your job is done right, the only thing you get more is blessings.
So tell me about your experiences with, my God, you kind of people you must have met, and you have an insight about the person that they are, their families, their income, everything. So kind of stories that you must be knowing.
There are a lot of stories, but I would say that knack about understanding and showing what should be shown to a particular client comes with time.
Achha.
Earlier, the amount of houses we used to make somebody see before they decided to buy or not buy was way too much. Now, with experience, and also this is a part of the training that we impart to anybody who joins our office, the kind of questions you need to ask a person to understand what their actual requirement is. Because it's like you going to a doctor and saying, something is paining. So the doctor is not going to analyze your whole body to give you a certain medicine. So in the same way, there are some pre-qualification questions that you ask any home buyer, which will shorten their geography, as well as make you understand more about what the exact requirement is, and which will make you show them only such properties which are fulfilling their requirement. So you cannot show them 100 apartments for them to buy one. You just end up confusing them.
Yeah.
You have to shortlist 5 and make them select one as per their requirement. So that is where, like I said, with experience, this will come.
And does it really work like that? If you show that person too many homes, like if I go to a showroom and if I see too many dresses, probably I'll be more confused rather than if I see like 3-4 dresses. Does it work that way?
It definitely happens. So, because let's say somebody comes with an X budget and you show them houses which are X plus 5, he's definitely going to like them because they must be bigger and they must be something better than what his budget would allow him to buy. So you don't want to do that because you make him like something and then make him realize that you cannot buy this, you have to buy that. So understanding the need of the client before any showings are done is the most important and the most critical part of a real estate transaction, and to take it ahead, whether it's going to happen or not. Because if you don't understand the need, you just randomly show him stuff, he's either not going to buy for the next 3 years, or if you show him something which is below his standard, he is probably going to go to another realtor who will show him the things as per the requirement.
What is the one thing that you'd like to change about your profession? What would that be?
The one thing that I would want to change about my profession, well, all in all, I love it. So there's not much that I would want to change.
Kuch to hoga for sure.
There are certain things like, as of now, the only reason why nobody aspires to be a realtor, or the only reason why when there is a kid in a 10th or a 12th standard, his parents don't want him to be a realtor. They don't aspire कि मेरा बच्चा बड़ा होके real estate broking करे, is because we call it a profession, but there is no degree attached to it. There is no exam attached to it. There is no pre-qualification to anybody who wants to be a real estate broker. Like tomorrow, just for an example, if you want to do real estate broking, you could do it today.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is going to ask you for your qualifications. Yes, RERA has come in, which is the Real Estate Regulatory Act, which is changing the industry a bit. But again, I would love for our profession to have pre-qualification for anybody who wants to join. There has to be a set of training.
Right.
There has to be a set of degree or exam, written exams, theoretical exams, whatever. And that's how somebody should be allowed to be a realtor. That's how the market works out of India in the developed countries.
Okay.
You have to go to a rigorous training and rigorous examinations before you get to do real estate broking.
Right.
So if that is done, it would be great for the industry. We do it at our micro level because in our office, anybody who joins, there is a 15-day training course which is compulsory, which is imparted by us, which is something that we have made out of our experience. It includes a lot of things, you know. It includes Firstly, what Remax is, how to get buyers, how to get sellers. Once you get a buyer or a seller, how to work with a buyer, how to work with a seller, basics about real estate, basics about every geography that we work in and the kind of pricing that goes over there, social media and how it works, Vastu, a lot more.
And people skills as well?
Well, that is very important because if you call yourself your professional, you have to act like one.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of things that are required for you to be a professional realtor, and this is something that has to be happening not at a city level or a state level, but if this kind of a thing happens at a national level, it would revolutionize the real estate broking industry per se.
I totally agree. When people are trained and so then they'll do better work, they'll be more professional.
Absolutely.
And that's how ये यहाँ पे फिर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग अच्छे होंगे तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग आएंगे भी. Parents would want their kids to take this profession, right?
Correct.
What strategies have you used that has helped you achieve your goals?
So our motto has always been keeping the client's interest first.
Okay.
Anybody who is thinking about real estate as an industry has to realize that this is a service industry. At the end of the day, it's the same house which the same people can show, and it's not going to change if I were to show to you or I were to change to somebody else. It's going to remain the same. At the end of the day, what is going to change the entire scenario is who you buy the house from and what is the kind of service that person or that realtor or that broker is giving to you. Because a lot of people don't understand that the right kind of service is what is going to make the client come back to you. The right kind of service is going to make the client refer you to somebody else and in a way multiply your business. So it's a service industry. You have to be ready to be available at the client's time. You have to be a professional. You have to be punctual. You have to be well groomed. You cannot just casually walk into somebody's office or house or go to show real estate wearing sports shoes or
Chappals.
Yes. So those are the traits which were associated to brokers earlier.
Yes.
But I don't think you will see that a lot these days, at least from somebody who calls themselves a professional. And secondly, what really worked for us as well was us being the most earliest adapters of social media into real estate marketing and sales.
I wanted to ask about this question. The kind of social media that's being used these days in your profession, मतलब social media पे पूरा marketing करते. Tell me, what are the advantages and disadvantages that you see?
So social media and real estate also has changed drastically. Like we mentioned earlier, when we started real estate, nobody wanted to be a realtor and it was considered to be a taboo. In the same way, social media, when we started doing marketing of real estate on social media, people used to laugh at us.
Is it?
They literally used to laugh at us, call us fools, made fun of us, did a lot of things. We have gone through all that. But that's okay. At the end of the day, that is something which has made us more visible. That is something which has made us reach to a lot of people which we would in a normal scenario not reach. And that is something which has also educated people about the kind of work we do. Social media has to be done right. It has to be more social, because if I just end up selling real estate and only real estate, all my posts are just real estate, my audience is probably not going to like it. Because for them to know me, for them to trust me is very important before them deciding to work with me. They also need to know what kind of work I have done in the past. They also need to know if there is somebody who wants luxury real estate. My social media account is going to show them that I have done work in the luxury real estate earlier and worked with developers of that stature earlier as well. So, one, social media has to be done to acquire mind space of people also, because today you don't want to buy a house, but let's say 6 months down the line you do. Why would you remember Nirav Vakharia? Because regularly you have been seeing his posts, regularly you have been seeing his real estate journey and regularly seeing him as a person as well, which you kind of connect with and you want to work with. So that is what is going to intrigue you to call me when you think the R of real estate, when you really want to buy something.
People will remember you. You're there in people's mind. So the same home and the two different people showing the home, हो सकता है that एक इंसान जब दिखा रहा है तो वो घर इतना ना अच्छा लगे, दूसरा दिखा रहा है तो घर अच्छा लगे. Depends. Does it happen?
Yes, it does in a way, because there is one way of showing a home that this is the bedroom, this is the kitchen, this is the washroom, and this is the puja room. And there is another way of showing it is, this is the bedroom, it is in the southwest direction, which has a very good wind direction as well, because it comes in the south and the wind direction in Ahmedabad is from the south to east.
Information.
This is the balcony, which is in the east of the house. So the balcony will always have the morning sun. This is the kitchen, which is right as per Vastu in the southeast corner. So, you know, there are different ways of showing the home.
You're just telling them that this is the right Vastu.
Yeah. And also, it's not just about the apartment in the building that you're selling. You have to also tell the client the benefits of moving into the area where this apartment is. Also, what are the good things around it, the schools around it, the convenience stores and the commercial activity around it, the connectivity around it, and the road network. You know, all those things are very important. It's not about just the house. It's a lot things more than that.
Tell me, what does an Ahmedabadi want? You know, what do most of the people look for when they look for homes?
Ahmedabad has evolved drastically. What was considered to be luxury earlier is now considered to be basic specifications.
Is it?
So what Ahmedabad wants is luxury in the form of the kind of specifications that are inside the house, the kind of flooring that the developer is giving, the kind of ceiling height that the apartment or the house has, the kind of amenities that are there in the building or in the society, the kind of things which are closer to the project, like how close is it to my regular going things like a mall or a school or a club. You know, if it is too far and people have to commute more, that is not something that people look for. People are now not really very fond of conventional buildings. They're looking at better facades or different architecture. That is something which also people look forward to. Also, it is more about height now.
Ceiling height?
No. The height of the building. Earlier, Ahmedabad 10th floor was top. Now, right now, if you were to see, 22 floors is the maximum. And now new buildings which are coming up where 40 to 45 stories buildings are coming. So the more higher is what people want. Those are the apartments which will sell faster compared to the lower ones. So 10 years ago, if somebody asked us for, I want a middle floor, not too high, not too low, we had to propose him a 5th to 6th. And for the same person, for the same question, now we have to propose a 18th to a 20th floor. You know, that's the kind of difference. People are also not willing to wait a lot. You know, that is a constant conflict that people have these days, because newer buildings are coming which are 40 floors and they are going to take 4 years to make. So if I were to buy a house today and move into that 4 years after today, that is not something a lot of people are convinced with. But well, if they want to be a part of that project, want to live at a certain height, they have to wait. So a lot of things which Ahmedabadi wants, but most importantly now it's all about quality and luxury. Nobody compromises on quality, nobody compromises on luxury and the kind of specifications which are required within the apartment.
Got it. Nirav, when somebody is looking for an under construction property, do they prefer to have a real estate broker or they just go directly and speak to the developers?
Well, it works both ways. There are certain clients who even if an under construction property wants to go through a channel partner or a broker, because he's the one who showed them or made them aware of the property first. Also, they want the realtor to be a part of the entire transaction because it consists them being updated about the construction cycle of the project. There is paperwork involved, there is payments to be given, like if my client does not always feel comfortable wiring check to money to the developer, he wants to give a physical check. Those are the kind of things that he expects, the kind of services that he expects from us.
Becomes easier.
Then there are follow-ups that have to be done regarding when the project is going to be ready, or when is a certain stage of the project going to be coming, when he'll be able to start his interiors or fit outs, all those kind of things. And there are certain people as well who feel, why do I need a realtor? I know the developer, because Ahmedabad is basically a small city, and if I were to call 5 people, they would probably connect me with that one person. One of them would connect me with that one person. So why do I need a realtor? I can go directly to the developer. But they don't realize whether they go with the realtor or they go by themselves, the developer is going to give them the same rate. They are just missing out on the service that the realtor would give them, and that they are ending up doing themselves.
So sometimes that percentage, whatever, 1%, 2%, pinches people, right? So if people don't value the service?
See, I would not blame the clients 100% for having that thought process of wanting to do things directly.
Yes.
A major percentage of them have burned their hands in the past. They have not had good experiences with the brokers. And they take time to trust a new person who calls himself a professional, whom they are not aware of. So they feel that there might be misinformation from the broker. He might say something which is not true, or might end up not being right. So I might as well go to the developer.
Money, whatever, 1%, well, big money still.
For that too, but people don't have a problem paying 99% of the capital to buy real estate, but that 1% does pinch a lot of people.
Yes.
So that's how, it's human psychology, I would say. But again, if somebody has worked with you once, they would never want to go to the developer again. That's the experience we have. There are clients who have bought a certain real estate from us in a certain developer's office, in a certain developer's project, and after that, they have invested in the same developer's other projects as well. But even after knowing the developer through that transaction, they would still not want to surpass us, and they would always want us to be a part of any of the real estate that they buy.
The world is changing very fast. Ahmedabad is changing super fast. So we have this section that we want you to talk about, Kal, Aaj aur Kal, wherein how was your profession 10 years ago? How's it today? And how do you see it evolving in the next 10 years?
So real estate broking has evolved a lot. 10 years ago, it used to be something really different, like nobody used to aspire to be a realtor. Nobody used to really work with a realtor because it was certainly a taboo. It was certainly something that the society did not accept, or thought rejects or people who were not successful in their line of work had nothing to fall back on, is what kind of people would do real estate broking. But that has evolved with time. It is a service industry which is changing a lot. The percentage of sales that the developers used to do earlier from realtors has also probably more than doubled in the last 10 years to presently. And the clients also realize the kind of professional services that are given by realtors, and they look forward to working with realtors, because a developer, if the client is going to a developer, is going to sell his project to him. Wherein a realtor is going to give the client a comparative market analysis of 5 such developers, which will make him choose which one suits his requirement best. That is the job of a realtor, which has also changed with time. If you were to talk about present day, it has been a huge digital transformation in this industry. There are digital brochures, there are walkthrough videos, there are drone shots. Like if today, if somebody had to buy an apartment on the 20th floor, developers have such drone shots which would show from the 20th floor, this is the kind of view your house would have. So that's really helpful for the clients. Not everybody has the kind of insight or the kind of imagination skills that would make them realize that this is how the house is on paper and this is how it would actually turn out to be. So most of the people were not comfortable buying under construction homes for that matter, because they could not really realize that is this enough for me, is this big for me or small for me. Also, there was no regulatory body like RERA 10 years ago. So that has also changed and made the clients more secure about what kind of real estate they are buying. They know that if something goes wrong, the developer runs away, the project gets stalled, they have something to fall back on, which does not happen in Ahmedabad. But still, now they have something to fall back on. They have something on paper which shows that these are the kind of things they are going to get. This is the kind of size which they eventually will get with these specifications. So those things have changed and helped a lot.
और आगे क्या लगता है? आगे 10 साल बाद क्या होगा?
आगे, so from the time that we started to now, we have seen a lot of people who call themselves realtors flushing out of the system, because they have not been able to transform with time. They have not been able to cope up with time. Earlier, a lot of people used to sell what they wanted to sell. And now the clients, because of the kind of projects and because of the kind of exposure online, or even the kind of marketing campaigns the developers have, and the kind of user communities that are made, the buyer is sometimes more knowledgeable than a lot of brokers, because if I am comfortable working with A, B and C developer, I have all the knowledge about their projects. But if the client wants X, Y and Z, I probably don't know much about it. But the client will see A, B, C, X, Y, Z and then decide what he wants to buy. So you have to be really updated with everything that is happening around you if you want to serve the client better. That is the way ahead. You have to be 100% tech savvy. You have to provide the client with walkthrough videos. You have to provide the client knowledge on social media. You have to be updated with not just what is there in that geography, but what is proposed in that geography, the new roads that are connecting to that geography. For example, 10 years ago, nobody knew what Gift City was. 10 years ago, there are 3 very prominent clubs of Ahmedabad: Rajpath Club, Karnavati Club and Sports Club. 10 years ago, nobody knew that these clubs are moving into a new geography with bigger and better infrastructure for the same clubs. So right now, since post-COVID, those 3 geographies where these clubs have moved to is what people are buying at, because they pursue that to be their future first homes, or they want to be around the clubs. So you have to be updated with these informations. If you have the knowledge beforehand, you will have more clients and you will be able to service more clients in a better manner than for the clients to go there first and you follow them. So
do you see in the next 10 years, do you see any artificial intelligence or any new tech innovation in your industry?
It has already started, but people haven't really adapted it yet. Like if you were to ask me, videos is something which the Western realtors or Western countries have adapted 15 years ago. Over here, people are still camera shy and they don't want to do videos of properties. So if you're going to adapt late, you're going to flourish late.
How has been your experience working with Swati, and what is the general public opinion about them?
Well, Swati as a group has come a long way. If you were to ask me 10 years ago, there was no Swati, or probably nobody knew them because they were not really hardcore into real estate. But with the kind of vision that Mr. Ashok has, and with the kind of hard work that Saket is doing, Swati has grown leaps and bounds in the last 5 years. The kind of projects which they have under construction and the kind of projects which they have delivered have superseded clients' expectations.
Wow.
If you were to see the recently completed commercial project they did at Sheelaj Crossroads, people love it. The foyer of that office building is fantastic, one of the best in Ahmedabad. Also, if you were to talk about the new sample house that they launched for their apartment project at Amli Bhopal Road, which is Swati Senior.
Okay.
It's a class apart. It's a 10,000 square feet apartment, huge apartment, very well done. And yeah, that's the kind of luxury that people are looking for in Ahmedabad.
Right.
And the way they are working and the way they have delivered what they have promised, they have a really good tenure left to what they have started in this industry in Ahmedabad. Absolutely, and they're wonderful people to work with, and we are very comfortable with them.
Lovely. Great. Do you miss playing tennis? Because see, personally, I feel like after my startup, I do miss acting a bit. But what do you?
Well, obviously I miss tennis. There is something which was a part of me for a better part of my life, the most important part of me. That is the sport which gave me my first individual identity. So yes, I absolutely miss tennis, but I had to decide whether it was tennis or work.
But being a sportsman at heart, it really helps you in your profession, right?
It does.
We were discussing for this.
It does.
Thank you so much, Nirav, for your time, and talking to you really helped us, uncover many myths that we had in our minds. And you gave us a lovely idea about Ahmedabad as a city, how real estate works, what do people really think about their homes, and so many things. And most importantly, knowing about you. You are somebody who's actually, showing a direction to this is like a new profession which people, the youngsters, can consider, and it's a great profession to be in. So, great knowing you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and it's my pleasure to be a part of this interview and let the world know about what real estate actually is and how professional it is.
Yes, a dynamic real estate broker. This is aspiration.